everybody. Welcome to the class. I'm just actually went live, I think, a little bit before live. So I'm just going to send the class to everyone. Hold on. /. Okay, let me just check that link, make sure. That'd be amazing if it does. That does. Wow, that's cool. That is really cool. Okay, Baruch Hashem. Took me a long time to figure out how to find the link to the live part of the channel. I'm very happy to get that done. Okay, so let's do this going live. Okay, let's call the group. Okay. All right, we already got a thumbs up. Pretty good. Was that you? So let's learn the Halachois of the Chag, the laws of the Chag before the Chag. We're coming up, this Shabbos is going to be, even though, as we said yesterday, we don't actually bless the new month because Hashem blesses this month, but it's kind of Shabbos Mevarchim. It's the 25th of Elul. 25th of Elul is actually a very significant day because it's the birthday of the world. Because basically Rosh Hashanah is the day that Adam and Chava were born. Why is that the most important day? Because it's about people. But the actual creation of the world began on the 25th of Elul. So Shabbos Parshat Nitzavim Vayelech, all the details that are not necessary, some of the things that we don't know. Fifth and sixth chapters of Pirkei Avos was the last set of Pirkei Avos that we're learning throughout this. Then it goes to Motzei Shabbos. On Motzei Shabbos, we do not say V'hi Noyim or Ba'at HaKodesh. We know the principle of Chag. We don't say V'hi Kodesh. We begin the recitation of Selichos immediately after halachic midnight. So why don't we say Selichos before midnight? The reason is I actually just learned it this year because, in fact, we have an issue. You don't say Tachnon after Shabbos. You can't really say Selichos. So that's why you start it immediately after midnight, and that way you're allowed to say Tachnon. We begin Makdizim right away. Of course, the Sfardim, and they do the whole month. On the following days, they are recited shortly before dawn or in the early hours of the morning. The only time we do it at night, the details, actually do it every single night. Others do it very much in the morning. We do it literally once at night, and then we do dawn or basically before Shachas. Advising to say Selichos before dawn, one should recite the things and the blessings on the Torah. One should not recite the blessing Hanoisen Lasech Vivina, who gives the rooster understanding, because that's all about the dawn. The rooster understands when to crow when it's dawn. Unless he actually hears a rooster crow, nor should he recite the blessing also called Sarki, unless he is wearing leather shoes. After daybreak, however, these blessings should be while robed. If he puts it on at night, he's blessing because the talus is only make a blessing on a talus. Slichos prayer begin with Ashrei and half a Kaddish, then follow the prescribed order. We recite a Shamnu only once. We do not prostrate ourselves when reciting the passage by Yemer David El God. The Chazan concludes with a full Kaddish. The person Slichos without a minyan, he should not recite the Yud Gimel Midas Harachmim. Any of the passages written in Aramaic. There are many who follow the custom of fasting on the first day of Slichos. Okay. Elul 29, Wednesday of Rosh Hashanah. That's Wednesdays of Rosh Hashanah. That's the birthday of the Tzemach Tzedek. On this day, a person in the 7 days of the Sheva morning may attend the synagogue to recite Slichos. The Tachan supplications are recited in Slichos, but not in the morning or afternoon service. So that's interesting. At Rosh Hashanah, we do say Tachan and Slichos, but we don't say it in the morning or in the afternoon services. The shofar is not sounded. Of course, the famous reason is we want to confuse the Satan. The Rabbi has a very interesting teaching. He says, what's the concept? The Satan doesn't know what's going on. He says, no, but when you go to war and you're very confident, then the enemy gets very, very afraid. So we're super confident, and therefore the enemy is worried. So we see now, thank God, we're going to war, and the enemy is very, very afraid, and that's exactly what you want from the enemy. In fact, the Rabbi said that we should, with Lebanon, this was a while ago, he said we should give them a 5-minute warning and just wipe it out, because ultimately, what we've done even now in Gaza is a sin, because many, I think already 700 soldiers have been murdered, have died, which is insane. It's a place that you could literally give them a 5-minute warning, just finish it off. There's no reason that Jews have to die for protecting terrorists, but that's a separate issue. After the morning service, we perform Hataras, the release of vows. This should preferably be performed in the presence of a minyan to understand the words one is reading. Thus, understand the Hebrew should read the passages in his native tongue. We do not recite the Sefer Seder Nizifa found in some Siddurim. So again, actually have to understand. And if you don't understand the Torah, okay, you have to read it, because what Torah and Dharm is, you're annulling your vows, so you don't come into Rosh Hashanah as a person that made vows. That's why it's actually important. If you owe anyone money, try to pay up the money now. If you owe anyone an apology, apologize now. Get to Rosh Hashanah. We don't want to get there. We get to a court case. You want to get to the court case looking clean, but you don't have anything negative associated to it. On this day, if, however, they encounter a feast associated with a mitzvah, they may take part and eat. It is not necessary for them to have this vow released. We cut our hair, initiated the practice of assisting with expenses for all the festivals of the month of Tishrei. So a person has to be very careful to do whatever they can, that they have whatever they need. Since Rosh Hashanah is celebrated on Thursday and Friday, it's necessary to prepare an Erev Tavshilim beforehand. This is done by taking at least a kazayas of challah and a kazayas of cooked or roasted meat. Food that is appropriate to be served as a main dish. That could be fish, that could be meat. And so again, a kazayas of challah, kibbetz of challah, which is approximately 2 ounces, and a kazayas of cooked or roasted meat, which is approximately 1 ounce. 2 ounces of bread and 1 ounce of challah. It's preferable to take an important dish. One then recites the blessings al mitzvahs erev, and the paragraph beginning with Dain Yehei Shara. This passage is written in Aramaic. If a person does not understand the Aramaic, he should recite it in a language that he does understand. One desires to make behalf of others as well, should first give food to another person, and then the person should lift them up a handbreadth, and the person making the Erev should take it back and recite the blessing in the paragraph mentioned above. So what's interesting, so you could do it for the whole city. One person basically does it for the whole city. It allows you to cook to prepare for Shabbos, because normally you can't prepare a Yom Tif for the day after. After making an Erev, one is permitted to cook food for Shabbos on Friday, the second day of Rosh Hashanah. One must, however, cook this food well before nightfall, so that it's possible to benefit from the food on the festival itself. If one is putting food in the oven or the like to cook slowly, he must put it in a manner that it will be at least 1/3 cooked before nightfall. The food designated for the Erev must continue to exist until one completes cooking. It is customary to use an entire challah for the Erev. This challah is then used on Shabbos as one of the loaves for Lechem Mishnah and is eaten for the third Shabbos meal. If the person forgot to make an Erev during the day, he can make it one Bein Hashmashas. If one forgot to make the Erev this time as well, he may not do so on the first day of Rosh Hashanah. He should ask a competent rabbinic authority for guidance. For the evening, we put on our festive garments, confident that God will miraculously favor us in judgment and look upon us with the attribute of mercy. He alone judges all created beings. The Shana Tova Masuka, may we all be inscribed and sealed for a good year with abundant material and spiritual blessings, including the greatest blessing, the coming of Mashiach, the Chaim Leveracha. Are there any questions? Let's see.
It's really short.
Yeah, it's short today. Yes, that's true.
Sometimes we go really long.